What is up, you guys? Welcome to Illumination Lab. My name is Justin, and today I'll be going over how I made these shoes in Cinema 4D. The shoes will be based off of the theme of our references, and our goal today is to make shoes that match our theme. A bit of a different video from normal today. I'm excited for this one. I'll show you how we get a really cool effect at the end here today. So without further delay, let's get into it. Alright, so normally this spot is normally used for references. What I'm going to do today is something just a little bit different. Instead of working off of specific references, what I'm going to do is we're going to pretend like we got a set of shoes here and we are responsible for designing these shoes in a specific manner to this theme here. So the theme I chose was this forest look here. All these references here have a bit of a darker look to it. They all have these evergreen trees and kind of like a dark haziness to it. So I thought it was a little bit different, and we'll try to give it a shot. Especially with sneakers, I normally don't think of, you know, forest and hiking of sneakers, and so what we're gonna do today is kind of keep these references off to the side here while we're trying to customize this. My goal is to make sure that, you know, we have a really cool looking effects, plus we bring in a lot of these dark greens and just kind of the dark look that comes with a lot of these images here. So let's hop into the Cinema 4D and get started today. Alright, so to start off here, what I'm going to do is I brought in these shoes from CG Trader. I was thinking about actually making some shoes on here, but I thought that process would take a little too long for just one video, and so I imported these. And then what we're first going to do is we're going to make a few copies of these and just kind of copy and paste here. If you can see here at the top, we imported it as just one asset. And so what I want to do in order to customize them a little bit better, we're going to copy and paste them a few times. I'm going to kind of cut it up at the bottom of the shoe and at the laces and at the inside. So when we are playing with our colors and effects, we can achieve a few different looks and not have it as one solid piece here. Because if I add in a green right now, everything's turning green. The laces, the shoe, the sole of the shoe as well too. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste here, and then again just kind of cut it up to kind of help us basically give us our own segments to work with. So that's the plan for the beginning here, and so let's get started. So to start off, what I'm going to do is copy and paste here. I'm going to hide the other set of shoes that we just pasted in. And then what I'm going to do is start off with the sole of the shoe. And so I'm going to delete everything on the shoe besides the sole. Then we'll do the same thing about 3 more times on different parts of the shoe here. So let's get started with the sole and get this going. So really, this process is very simple. It's just time consuming. So I'm just highlighting all of these squares here and deleting them and trying to make it as clean as possible. So when we do get our final look, there's no missing geometry to it. So All right, so we're just about done with the sole here. So, and I think it's pretty good looking so far. What I'm going to do is actually throw in a subdivision here and see the overall look of this sole here. And as we look here, it looks like the subdivision just kind of made it a little bit cleaner, a little bit more smooth as well too. So I'm liking how this looks here. So let's just roll into the next part here. So I'm going to copy and paste a few sets of shoes here just so I have them here. And then next what we're going to do is get started on the inside of the shoe here. So in this next portion here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just separate both the outside of the shoe and the inside of the shoe. Again, to better kind of customize it and to add different colors, we're going to need a few different, I guess, segments of the shoe. And so our next step here is to cut out the inside of the shoe. So what I'm going to do is just kind of cut a line around the top of the shoe here, separate the outside of the shoe from the inside of the shoe. So really what I'm looking for is to be able to customize the inside of the shoe without affecting the outside. So next up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get the inside portion of the shoe. So what we'll do here is just delete everything that's outside of the shoe, and we're going to keep the inside portion here. And that's looking pretty good so far. So what I'm going to do is just kind of leave that there and move on. As I was erasing a lot of this, I did notice that, eventually with us making multiple segments here, it's going to get a little confusing. So make sure that you do name out each segment so you can kind of figure out which is which, and that would be a lot easier when you start to apply different colors and textures to your shoes, where you're not applying certain colors to different surfaces that you don't mean to. So we're going to kind of go in here and rename some of these segments here. So and then for this one as well, I'm mainly just working on the right shoe, and so I'm just gonna delete the left side, because again, we'll just focus on one this time, and then depending on where this project goes, we can always just add a set of shoes. But I think for today, we'll just work with this right shoe today. So if you look at the shoe closely, I believe what it's called is eyelets. It's the circle around the laces here. And so what I'm going to do is bring in a tube, and we're going to kind of line it up to the shoe here to give us another option to play with as far as being able to customize it here at the end. So I'm going to throw in a whole bunch of tubes here, make these tubes basically the eyelet of the shoe. And again, the reason why I'm doing that is to kind of help us at the end. If we do want to customize it a certain way, we do have a lot of options between the colors and textures of the shoe and the colors of everything else. So for the eyelet here, what I'm going to do is just reduce down this tube here, turn on fillet so we get a nice rounded edge to it, and really just match it up to the original circles here. So and then we're going to do the same thing on this other side as well. I think that's looking pretty good so far. So as we look here, we can see that, you know, we have the inside of the shoe, we have these eyelets here, and then we have the sole of the shoe. And so next up, what we have to do is these laces. So again here, what I'm going to do is just copy and paste. So we have another layer here, and we're going to delete everything that is outside of the laces here. Really for this, we want to be able to customize our laces a specific color. And so I want to be able to have a layer that specifically laces, just in case we ever do need to hop back in and change it up rather quickly. So, and again, this is just a similar process to some of the other segments we did here. And so I'm just going to delete everything else that's not the laces, and so we can have full control of the laces here. All right, so we got that one done. So, okay, so we got the shoes. Of course, we got the shoes, but we got the sole, we got the eyelets here, we got the laces, we got the inside of it. So I think that's fine for now. What I'm going to do is actually pull in a null here, and we're just going to bring all of these different segments into the null here, and have it underneath the title shoe. All right, so we got our shoe here. Next up is we have to display it somehow. So what I'm going to do is bring in a cylinder stand, and I'm going to adjust it to the shoe here. And then to have a backdrop, what I'm going to do is bring in a S curve as well, and then just kind of set it up to kind of give us a nice little studio look here. So And now I'm going to bring in a Redshift camera just to kind of give us a camera to bounce back into if we need a certain look or a certain perspective on our shoe. So I'm just going to bring in a Redshift camera here and set it up. So when we pop up this render view here, we have a nice camera we can work with. And now before we start with our colors and textures, what I'm going to do is just bring in a area lights just to kind of give us a better representation of what these colors are going to look like and to give us a general feel of what the scene is going to look like. So I'm going to pop up an area light here and then just kind of adjust it to the top here, so it's a nice little top light here. So we're going to do that, and then once we kind of adjust it to a nice look, I'm going to roll into the colors here. And then so for the overall color of the shoe, as I'm looking at the references here, I think I'm just going to go with a kind of a dark green leather look. And so I'm going to throw in a dark green onto the body of the shoe here. And then what I'm going to do to kind of spice it up a little bit is throw in this atom array effect. And so how you achieve this effect is you bring in whatever you want to work off of. So we're going to work off of this shoe, obviously. And then I'm going to bring in a atom array. And then I'm going to make the shoe here a child of the atom array. And then as we do that here, we get this really cool looking web effect here. And so what's really cool is as we go into the atom array, we can adjust a few different settings, and then we can also change this color here as well too. So, and now that we have our atom array set up, what I'm going to do is just bring in a black leather here just to throw on to the atom array. The black is going to give us this nice neutral color to our dark green here. So I'm going to apply that here, and then what we're going to do is just clean this up a little bit. If you see here, it kind of wrapped around the shoe, and so what we're going to do is just kind of go around the sole of the shoe and delete a lot of the web design here. So, and for the sphere radius and cylinder radius, we're going to stick it to 0.1 here, because that's going to give us that good look. That's not too much, it's not crazy essentially. So I think 0.1 for each one here is going to give us a nice look. All right, so now that we have the sole of the shoe looking pretty good here, most of the design is cut up. What I'm going to do is actually change the laces here. So what I'm going to do is bring in this almost this beige look. I wanted another kind of neutral tone to kind of help us achieve that forced look that we're going for. So I'm just going to apply that color to the laces here, and then what I'm going to do is just expand the laces out so we get a cool effect with the laces where we could see that beige look here with the black as well too. So and it kind of has that look where it looks like it's kind of interlaced with each other. So I'm liking that here. And then I'm not liking the bottom too much, so what I'm going to do is bring in a different color green here and put that as the color of the sole here. So I'm liking that we have two different sets of greens. I like the beige look, and then of course the black on the web kind of gives that overall dark tone. So I think next what I'm going to do is actually try and bring in some sort of tag. I know sometimes depending on what kind of shoes you get, some shoes come with either some sort of chain or tag attached to it. So what I'm going to do is go into Grayscale Gorilla, bring in a tree here, and then what I'm going to do is the same effect. I'm going to put it as a child of the atom array, and I'm going to kind of give that lace look. So, and then next up here, we have to play around with these lights to kind of showcase the shoe a little bit. So I'm going to bring in a spotlight here. And then I'm going to go into Grayscale Gorilla, and we're going to find this cool gobo here to kind of give us more of a wavy effect. And then as I adjust the light here, you can kind of see it's being affected on the IBR here. And I'm liking it like that just because it kind of gives us a wavy look, a very texturized look. It's almost, I guess, water-esque, or maybe like yeah, I would say more of a water-esque type look. And so really I'm just going to play around with the light here and see what kind of cool effects we can get with that. All right, so wrapping up with the project here, as we kind of look at our references and our overall piece, I felt like we did kind of match with the overall theme. Again, it's more of a forest look, and so we utilized a lot of different colors to kind of help emphasize that. And then we have our cool little tree ornament here that we put on the shoe here, and so I think that kind of ties it together. What I actually did was I actually hopped into Canva and almost made a mock ad of it with a similar look with the trees and everything. So that's that look here. So to achieve this look, what I did was just render out a few different looks of the shoe here. I erased the background and then just copy and pasted this shoe onto a picture I had of this forest area, and then just threw a nice little font on top of that as well to kind of achieve that look. I did throw in a shadow at the bottom of the shoe to kind of give a more realistic look versus like a copied and paste look. And then I just I changed the tone to the overall look here to kind of make both the shoe and the background a little bit more cohesive with each other. So just simple effects like that can do some really cool stuff. Again, really, we just brought in a shoe asset from CG Trader, separated out the shoe here to kind of better customize it. We threw in a atom array to have this really cool web looking effect. So you could do a lot of very simple things to kind of get you a cool look at the end of the day, or a very unique look. So just like that, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one today. It was a little bit different than what I normally do. I'm usually used to doing different, settings or architecture. So doing something like this is always fun to kind of branch out and try something new. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot it down in the comments. If you have any cool ideas about what you want to see, or if you have a project you want me to tackle, feel free to let me know. Other than that, that's the end of the video. You guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one.